office is up in a cloud. He sits there serenely away from the crowd. But if you should cross him, fit yourself for a shroud in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Our Pete and Paul's interest is hard to quench, but the way that he shows it gives us all a wrench. He won't look at devices just under each bench in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. He and Ross can be seen as past his office we slink, correcting our memos in red, white and blue ink. They're getting so bad that he's taken to drink in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Jim Early's work is so well organized. No matter what happens, he's never surprised, because by 6 daughters he's well supervised in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Bob Ryder's glasses can glitter and gleam. Since hitting your left, he's been heard to scream. This man Charlie Pittman must be a bad dream in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Al Winger looks calm, but he's boiling inside. To get surfaces clean, he has tried and he's tried. Now a tell is suggesting they start using Tide in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. John Flagel's minions are nearly berserk. They can't understand his one mental quirk. Why must they make models and not things that work in our vice development department? Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Undersea cables are Henry Stone's line. He's passionately fond of all things maritime. His collection of mermaids is simply sublime in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Jim Goldie's cross point is made very small. Its intricate structure Allentown will appall. The only thing wrong is it won't work at all in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. From research came Friedhoff with ideas sound. For brand new devices us all to astound. So he made up a counter that 2 steps around in our vice development department. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. Although transistors make us sick, with 252 we're gonna stick. This is a story of a missing link. The model's intended to make you think of the evils that occur when you take to drink like Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Born in Southport, Lancashire, out of wedlock and by desire, father drummed out of the village choir for baby Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Spent his early days in school, where he proved he was no fool. At shooting craps and playing pool did Master Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Grammar school received him next, his habits made his teachers vexed. They said this youth is oversexed, this Master Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. At forging checks he was quite a scribe, but not a member of the scholarship tribe. Got to Cambridge by giving a bribe, did Mr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Amen. Met the demon drink while up at Keys, then contracted a social disease, so they sent him down and overseas. Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Send us your weak, your humble, your poor. No matter how queer, we've an open door. But please preserve us from any more like Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. He caused such a riot when he came to Bell. Research and development went to hell. He knew no physics, but he learned to spell, did Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Rumors had it that he lived in sin, with a dear old soul at the Bottle Hill Inn, but he redeemed himself by wedding a Finn, poor Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. At last his worth was recognized, promotion came and his work comprised Commissar of Bell's foreign spies, Comrade Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. What will the future hold in store? The same things happened to crooks before. He'll have president on his door, President Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer, stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. Now his time is nearly spent, his hair is thinning and his back is bent. He ain't no officer, scholar or gent, is Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled whiskey and washed in beer. Stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. 3 pots drunkard and 1 pot boss. His 30 years are a bloody loss. Though he may have rolled, he's gathered much moss, as Dr. Ian Munro Ross. Pickled in whiskey and washed in beer. Stand up for Jesus, Ross is here. California or die. All along out along Old Murray Hill, took our PNIP to new PSI. John Peterson and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. PSI did all right, grabbing men in the dark. All along out along Old Murray Hill, Pete quickly employed his old boss Mason Clark. John Peterson, Mason Clark, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. Esther Conwell's impurities are known far and wide. All along out along Old Murray Hill, she now is Sylvania's theoretical bride. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. College life, thought partying was what he'd enjoy. All along out along Old Murray Hill, less money, fewer bastards at old Illinois. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Barding, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. Prince was the king of the solar cell at Bell. All along out along Old Murray Hill, he personally pees on all Hoffman's sun cells. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Barding, Mort Prince, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. T.I. stock jumped when they signed Gordon Teal. All along out along Old Murray Hill, the green stuff in Texas has greater appeal. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Bardeen, Mort Prince, Gordon Teal, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. Our alumni's King Midas diodes heated coupe. All along out along Old Murray Hill, Bacalar up in Boston, most wealthy of the group. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Bardeen, Mort Prince, Gordon Teal, Dave Bacalar, and Uncle Bill Shockley and old Uncle Bill Shockley and old. Roving Rex Sittner, his moves never fail.
CSI to General Dynamics to growing walnuts to Motorola to hell I don't know where.
John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Bardeen, Mort Prince, Gordon Peele, Dave Bacala, Rex Sittner, and Uncle Bill Shockley, and old Uncle Bill Shockley, and old Bill Shockley's inventions would fill a large pouch all along old Murray Hill. Latest, a new type of candidate's couch. John Peterson, Mason Clark, Esther Conwell, John Bardeen, Mort Prince, Gordon Peele, Dave Bacala, Rex Sittner, and Uncle Bill Shockley, and old Uncle Bill Shockley, and old. Traveled a long way to bring you this song, a brand new calypso we're sure to get wrong, about the reform school to which we belong. It's the Hells Bells Laboratory, it's the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, it's the Hells Bells Laboratory. The Murray Hill air must be fertile, it's clear, it brings out in all the creative idea. Each engineer fathers a child every year at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Our silicon's grown at a low temperature, the crystals resulting are not very pure. We preserve all our lifetimes by using manure at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Our lady assistants are quite fond of sport. Their skirts are quite chic and exceedingly short, but some walk around merely wrapped up in thought at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Publication of papers will help your career. Promotions assured if you write 20 a year. They are used in the washroom of the chief engineer at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Economy squeezes pinch more every day. Coffee and tea breaks have been taken away. They're hoping to make the transistor pay at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Our walls are all graced by the periodic chart. Bill Shockley's picture is sewn over our hearts. Bardeen and Bradeen are our sweethearts at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Dislocations and traps are the bane of our life. Imperfections and vacancies give trouble and strife, but we pick 'em all out with our scoutmaster's knife at the Hells Bells Laboratory, at the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at the Hells Bells Laboratory. Surface studies we've had to quit. Theory and practice would never fit. We could never get rid of a coating of sweet violet, sweet violets. At the Hells Bells and buckets of blood, at